All right, so fast forward, tranny's in, drive shafts is in, all the cables here are in. What I'm doing right now is replacing the plate cylinder. So that's the new part here. We have the push style, not the pull style. With here. So preferably whenever you're installing anything oil related, it's preferably you bench bleed it. But I have some proper tools to do it on IndyCar, so I'm not too stressed about that. Yeah, it's gonna go here. We're gonna put some Loctite on it. We're just gonna tighten the bolts now. Okay, that's all good. Now we're gonna go ahead and open the line itself, put it in, and we should be done with that. So that's all done there. We're gonna have to bleed it later. So what we're doing today is we're gonna replace the front diff fluid, we're going to replace the tranny fluid, and I'm going to try replacing the rear diff fluid. Now I do have all the fluids here. So as a brake engine oil, I used 10W30 conventional. So what we're doing today is we're going to replace the front diff fluid, we're going to replace the tranny fluid, and I'm going to try replacing the rear diff fluid. Now I do have all the fluids here. Never want to use synthetic for braking. This is going to be my next oil change, Royal Purple 10W30. That's just for the Nissan automatic transmission, for the ICAS and all of the other small pumps. Here we have Redline Heavy ShockProof. This will be used for the front diff and the transmission. You could use them for both. And then here we have the Lucas 80W90, which is pretty much for the rear diff, and this is LSD compatible. So these two will go in the rear diff, and these 6 here will be between the transmission and the front diff. So to show you where the plugs are, here you got the front diff. The top one is a fill, the bottom one is a drain. You always want to make sure you can open the fill before you open the drain, just in case something happens, you can still close it back on. And how we're going to do this is completely empty. So I'm still going to go ahead and open it just to make sure there's no dirt or nothing in there. And I'm going to start topping it off from the top port until it starts leaking out, that we know that that is full. And then we're going to do the same thing with the tranny. Here you have the drain bolt. The top port is for the fill. We do the same thing for the tranny. Fill it till it starts leaking out. And for the rear diff, that's the drain. And that's the drain. And the fill should be right there. So let's go ahead and undo the tranny oil and see what the condition is. So I never drained the tranny oil when I took it out. We're going to do that right now. No shavings, so that's a good sign. Or actually, we didn't look at the drain plug. There's quite some shavings here. Let's hope it's nothing serious, probably one of the synchros. We'll find out once we drive the car and shift. We'll know if there's any tranny issues. I haven't drove the car so far, so I can't really tell. But I'm not too concerned about that as long as we got the engine running. Everything else should be easy to take care of. The socket you need for these the fill and drain bolts are just a regular 1/2 inch head, so you don't even need a socket. Just put your wrench on it or a breaker bar, and that should be it. Yeah, that's pretty much empty, because when I took out the oil pan, I cleaned it up. But let me just give it another quick clean. Okay, so we're gonna put some sealant on the drain bolts so it doesn't back out for any reason, and also to seal it from oil dripping out. Now what we're gonna do, by the time the tranny fluid drains, we're gonna fill up the front diff with some ShockProof. Finish topping off the front diff. Same thing with the transmission. We sealed both bolts after filling it up. Right now we're just doing the rear diff. And I'm going to show you here how, you know, once it's full, it's going to start leaking. And that's when you stop and just close it up. I still have some more parts to replace, such as the tie rods, bushings, and the rear diff bushes as well, I believe. Front bearings. So I'm either going to do this now or we'll do it some other day, but yeah, all these small little stuff, sway bar links, and some white line, suspension and chassis bushings. Yeah. So, ball joints. Anyway, I'll probably take it for a spin, make sure everything is good, and start replacing the other parts.